Hi, all. Kinsey Schofield here. Welcome to Recollections May Vary, a royal recap. I know you've all been waiting. The countdown has been on. It's finally here. Maureen Callahan with her Meghan Markle verdict. It's so exciting. But before we go there, I have to tell you, I thought of you this week because I won an auction.
Meghan Markle's latest Netflix project has flopped, big time. The Sussex brand is crumbling. Sources reveal behind-the-scenes chaos, backlash from fans, and Netflix executives in panic mode.
I won an Elvis auction. It's not. I found on the movie Elvis with Austin Butler in it. I hope you love it. I love it.
I
I
saw it. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Okay, good. I bought the knife they use during the wedding scene with Elvis and Priscilla so that one day I can use it at my wedding. So I can say I had Elvis and Priscilla's wedding knife.
Kinsey, I love that. But I beg you to perhaps reconsider using it at your own wedding. I don't think it would augur well. Elvis and Priscilla did not end well.
I also thought about that. I was like, well, they are my dream team. I don't know if necessarily everything ended up the way I want it to. So that's a very good point. Maybe Austin Butler will get happily ever after married, and that will change some of the, juju on the knife. Yeah. All right. Well, I've seen some of your Meghan commentary, and honestly, I laughed so hard I cried. Was it 8 hours of your life basically that you'll never get back, or was there anything redeeming in that pile of what?
It was roughly 90 minutes of my life that I will never get back because I did not watch all 8.
Nice.
I couldn't. I took your advice. You were the one who said your intel was watch episodes 1, 2, and 8. So that's exactly what I did. And for me, episode 2 was so like, Kinsey, I'm Sussex now.
Yeah, I know you. I know.
That said everything.
Another attempt to make Meghan Markle a global phenomenon has hit a brick wall, and surprise, surprise, Netflix is shocked. I mean, who could have seen this coming? Oh, right, everyone with a pulse and a shred of common sense.
Like, what a colossal, narcissistic, semi-sadistic piece of work she is. You invite somebody not only into your fake home to do your fake cooking show and call her a friend. This does not seem to be a dear friend. And you correct her on camera about your surname that is news to everybody. You're the expert. You probably know whether it's even applicable to her as an actual surname. And then on top of that, okay, again, Mindy Kaling, never forget, actress, producer, friend, in order of importance, as she is Chiron, is a single mother by choice. She has 3 children. And Meghan goes on to try to cover her tracks after hurling this insult her way by saying, well, it's just so important that we all share the same last name. Like, I share my last name with my children, and that's so meaningful. And it's like, well, is Mindy sharing her last name with her children any less meaningful? I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, from what I understand, technically, she could use the Sussex surname. I mean, very loosely could, because the examples were given as Prince William and Prince Harry being, William Wales and Harry Wales when they were in the service. Additionally, the York daughters. But I mean, every example that anyone gives when fighting for this is giving the example of somebody that was born into this world. Princess Diana was never Diana Wales, ever.
True.
Catherine was never Catherine Cambridge, ever. So it does feel like Harry and Meghan breaking protocol yet again, because they just don't like the rules and setting up their own rules. And you're right. None of us had heard that she was Meghan Sussex. We did hear around the end of last year that Archie and Lily were going to be referred to as Archie and Lily Sussex. And it was like, okay. But I don't think any of us just assumed, and Meghan would have been angry if we had, that she was going to be Meghan Sussex, because she said on Oprah Winfrey 4 years ago, almost to the day, and said that the royal family almost stole her name. Like, she lost this, she lost that, I almost lost my name. So we were under the impression that feminist Meghan was proud to keep her last name Markle.
And now, Kinsey Schofield is here to break down what really happened and what this means for the future of Harry and Meghan. Welcome back to the channel. If you love keeping up with royal news and drama, make sure to hit that button and ring the notification bell, because we're bringing you the truth the mainstream media won't tell you. So what exactly went wrong? Meghan Markle's new Netflix series was supposed to be a game changer.
Great point. And, really just to cut to the chase, none of us care
Exactly.
what she's
Amen.
calling herself. We care only in as much as it just goes to the rank hypocrisy of her unending enterprise to be beloved and famous, which is that she has said this family didn't care if she lived or died.
Mhm.
Remember the suicidal ideations when she was pregnant and nobody was allowing her to seek mental help. Cough, cough. Yet she then clings to the very names that one would think be a reminder of such terrible trauma.
That's the truth. Let's talk about this post from Meghan where she is celebrating her second season. And now we're understanding that, according to insiders talking to multiple UK outlets, this was to distract from all of the negative press. This post was to distract from, Variety, The Hollywood Reporter. I think I even saw Vogue saying she's
Your
completely.
local penny saver.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. According to sources, this was a strategy by Meghan and Netflix to distract from that and change the narrative to Meghan got a second season. But according to Deadline, it was 2 seasons that were always greenlit, likely out of desperation to release something when there would be product available. In a Daily Mail article, and I could. This is how I envisioned it, so it made sense to me. It was the same as when they released the Harry and Meghan series originally into 2 parts, or when they released The Crown into 2 parts. You get the first 3 or 4 episodes, and then you get the last few episodes at a later date.
For someone who was supposedly bullied out of the royal family, she sure does love to use her former title when it suits her. Duchess of Sussex sells books, it sells TV shows, and it sells the illusion that she was some sort of royal revolutionary instead of, let's be honest, a rather forgettable supporting actress on a mid-tea legal drama.
Did you get that sense that Meghan was like so desperately trying to do a victory lap when clearly she had failed yet again in the public eye?
I actually interpret it as Meghan is so delusional. She has convinced herself that this is a victory and a victory lap worth taking. And despite all the quote unquote haters, she got season 2 from Netflix. Now, this is my theory. Much like you were saying, The Crown broke up one season into 2. Do you remember The Sopranos when it was their final season? They shot it all at once. It was season 7. I think they called it A and B. But really, what that was a way to avoid having to pay the actors their built-in mega raises for the next season. So it was just corporate bookkeeping. And I think that's what's going on here. I think Netflix shot the whole thing in one go. That seems to be the reporting. They can now have time to try to edit or reshoot or make Meghan a little bit more palatable, which I'm sorry is a Sisyphean task. She is unlikable. I think she should just lean in to being a bitch. Just lean
Yeah.
in.
Amen. I feel the same way. Now, when you say that, because yes, I'm reading back to back. We know that the show is already shot, which to me, the headline shouldn't be Meghan got a second season. The headline should be they made the mistake of shooting it so soon before they could get any real feedback. And now it's going to be the same recycled garbage that we saw a few days ago.
Insiders claimed it would redefine her career and cement her as a Hollywood powerhouse, but instead, it's been a complete disaster. From poor storytelling to lack of audience interest, critics and viewers alike have slammed the project. And Netflix? Let's just say, they're not happy. Royal expert Kinsey Schofield has been closely following the drama, and according to her sources, Netflix executives are absolutely furious.
But when it comes to this quote unquote second season, I felt like the fact that they released the information so soon about it coming out and the fact that it already had been shot reflected that Netflix did not want to draw out this contract at all anymore. We know that this year the contract comes up. So it felt like a rush to get it all done so that Netflix realistically wouldn't have to go back to the negotiating table if she was at all inconvenienced and had to record any bit more than what her contractual obligations were. Do you get the feeling that this was hurried up? Because I mean, it took her 5 years to do this. Yeah, I mean, she's had this Netflix contract for 5 years now.
I know it's really remarkable, and this is what they came up with.
Yeah.
And in watching the show, the bits I could stomach it because it really was, as I've said, I love a good bad watch. I love to watch really good pulpy bad stuff. I love to watch stuff that kind of knows it's bad and is like telegraphing that to you. And the disconnect here between the product she thinks she's putting out and the actual product itself, it's like it's like the Red Sea parting. That's how wide this chasm is. I just don't see what Netflix gets out of renewing this deal. We know all reports have Ari Emanuel at WME icing her out, dumping her. She's now like with the B team, the C team at WME. She threw yet another fit apparently about plans for her future. I'd love to know when the podcast is coming out. I read that the podcast then had been like bumped up to this spring, which seems inconceivable to me because, Kinsey, here's the thing. I thought while watching this show, she had so much time to workshop her patter, what she was going to say. She had a lot of time to think about the guests, the quote unquote friends she was going to have on, and her dynamics with them, her interpersonal relationships, and none of it, like the best she could come up with was walking out to her beehive, half dressed in the beekeeper's uniform, saying things like busy bees. The round table in Dorothy Parker, this is not.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That is so painfully true. Yeah, I wonder because I said to somebody, I felt like what a stronger docu-series would have been would the behind the scenes watching her build her next podcast. And somebody was like, it's too inside baseball. And I said, at least that way I'd get some sort of glimpse of a work ethic, but organizing fruit on a tray, it looks very silly and like a waste of time and resources, not to mention, like her dad said, $90 worth of fruit.
They expected a massive hit, but instead it's a major embarrassment. Some insiders are even suggesting that Netflix might start rethinking their entire deal with Harry and Meghan. Could this be the beginning of the end? And this isn't just about one failed project, this is a pattern. First, the Spotify deal fell apart. Then Harry's memoir received mixed reactions. And now this Netflix failure? Hollywood is all about success and influence, and right now the Sussex brand is losing both. So what's next for Meghan Markle? Can she bounce back from this setback, or is her Hollywood dream slipping away? Some say she'll try a new rebranding strategy. Others believe she'll double down on philanthropy. But one thing is clear, Hollywood is watching, and so are we. One thing is for sure, this Netflix flop is a major blow to the Sussexes. Will they recover, or is this the beginning of the end for their empire? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, if you love royal tea and turn on notifications so you never miss an update,